New York attacks GLOCK, Chicago has a police shortage, and Joe Biden's re-election hopes are fading. This is The Loaded Mic, and I'm Dan Woss. The no-gun state of New York is working on a new strategy. It's called S9225. That was introduced for the purpose of making it illegal to manufacture or sell any device that can turn a firearm into a rapid-fire machine gun. The devious way the bill is written may make a vast number of firearms and manufacturers vulnerable. Now, the bill states, quote, any semi-automatic pistol that can be converted into a machine gun solely by the installation or attachment of a pistol converter, end quote. Now, the bill specifically names GLOCK for its GLOCK switch, but also includes any copycat weapons that can be converted in the same way. Now, S9225 would make it illegal for certain persons to possess or sell a pistol converter or a converted pistol. The bill states if makers of convertible pistols adapt their designs to ensure they cannot be converted into machine guns simply by installing a pistol converter, they will no longer be subject to the sale sale prohibition. Now, this appears to be code for we will determine which guns can be converted, which is all of them. And the state of New York will have the final word on which guns can be sold in the state, which would be none of them. It's clear that New York State has a criminal violence problem, yet they interchange the word criminal with the word gun and use it multiple times throughout the bill to justify the legislation of devices such as the GLOCK switch. There's no such thing as gun violence. New York and other Democrat-run states have human violence or criminal violence problems that they refuse to deal with. Now, rational people understand that the violence in the state of New York comes from incompetent policymakers who allow for things such as early release, bail reform, and other forms of leniency for criminals. The originally appointed governor, Kathy Hochul, released 191 prisoners from Rikers Island as soon as she was handed the position of governor from the disgraced Andrew Cuomo. Now, should the state of New York enforce laws and crack down on crime, the problems they claim to be having because of firearms wouldn't exist. It's become crystal clear that if the state had a reduction in violent crime, justification for gun control laws would decrease. New York State appears to be one of the several states that capitalizes on its own manufactured crime for political purposes and the false need for gun control laws. The new bill, S9225, claims that it will hold firearm companies that produce convertible pistols accountable for their failure to address this problem and the dangers it possesses to New York State. It is intended to incentivize them to take steps to update their design to prevent the continued misuse of their products. Now, the problem with the way these legislators write the text for these anti-gun bills is that they're very misleading. In this particular case, the text specifically says New York State will hold firearm companies accountable for their failure to address this problem, implying that the problem is gun-related, when the real problem is one of human violence, of which the state refuses to address. Now, as usual, Democrats are pushing the blame onto someone else, in this case, GLOCK and other firearm manufacturers. The text also refers to misuse of their products. This implies that the firearm manufacturers are responsible for the actions of people in possession of their products. Now, the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, the PLCAA, specifically protects firearm manufacturers from, quote, misuse and liability if their products are used in an illegal manner. New York Democrats understand that if they can remove the protections that are in place for firearm manufacturers, they can use them to the point that they stop doing business in New York or run them out of business altogether. Now, the goal is a completely unarmed New York State citizenry. Thanks for watching this clip. There's more where that came from, and we appreciate every like, every follow, and every share. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll bring you more.